Okay, well, good morning, 7th graders. I hope you guys are doing well. We are going to now embark on this journey of 10.7 Part 2. This was a part that I intentionally left out yesterday, so it was more simplistic and more straightforward for the first part of the lesson. So here is the second half of the lesson, and this is called Making a Histogram. Now, I've noticed this with a lot of you when I went to grade your other graphs, whether it was a bar graph or a line graph. You remember all those. One of the things that we need to understand about making a graph, and I'm going to get my ruler out to do this, so it's a nice little perfect square picture here. One of the things we have to learn is that when we have a line here and here that meets, okay, the tick marks that come here have to be the same distance apart. So if this is 5 and then 10, this next one has to be 15, then 20, then 25. Do you see how it's going up by 5? Okay, I can't go up by I can't make this one 6 and then 8 and then 18 and then 28 and then 48, right? Because that's not equivalent. I can't do that. Okay, that's a no can do. It has to be by the same amount. Okay, I hope everybody understands that's very, very important. And the same thing when it comes to a histogram, right? Histogram is going to have a square and then another square, and then let's say that one's about a little higher, and then this last one's going to be the tallest, right? I can't make these over here match this. I have to give it a range, right? So it has to be an exact number. But in addition to being an exact number on this side, these intervals down here have to be the same. So let's say this was 4 to 9, and then this was 10. It's going to have to be the same distance apart. 10 to 15, 16 to 21, 22 to 27. Do you see there has to be 5 in between? This is 5, 5, 5, 5. You see, I can't make these different boxes. I couldn't make this one 5 and then this one down here say, you know what? This one's actually going to include 22 to 40 and be 18. Okay, can't do that. Okay, they have to be the same width. That's very, very important. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up our chart again that I inserted yesterday. So here is our histogram example. Now you see this on the histogram example. See this? They didn't have anybody in the 31. If I can get this thing to grab. 31 to 38 range, but they still had it. Why? Because those 7 numbers, right? That the 7 in each one had to be there, even if there were no parts that actually charge that amount. So it has to be the same. Okay, each one of these is 7. You see, each one is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And look on this side, it goes up by 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, it's not random numbers. They didn't match it. They made it a chart that was equidistant, and then they let the data fall on that. Okay, a lot of you are changing the chart over here and down here to match the data that we have, but we can't do that, or else it doesn't tell us anything about the data, okay? So that's very important. Now, how do we make one of these charts right here? How do we even do this when we're given some data? Well, that's what we're about to do. So if you want to follow along, that would be super helpful. I'm on page 462 on the example. Okay, this is page 462, and this is the example problem. Okay, so they're going to give us some data to work with, and there's a lot of them. Okay, so bear with me because I'm gonna go over it. So they do the data there. You see in front of you. So if you're not looking at it, you need to pull it up so you can watch me do it. So this is page 462, and this is the example. It's technically number 2. So what they do is they say we're going to take all that data and use intervals of 10. Okay, so now we need to make what's called the frequency chart. You guys remember that, right? So we make a frequency chart. And when we have a frequency chart, the first category, we look at which number is the smallest. Well, the smallest number is a 60. We look at the smallest, and the smallest is a 69. Now, in order to get intervals of 10, we need to start with 60 and have it be 60 to 69. So over here, we're going to have 60 to 69. Then we're going to have 70 to 79, 80 to 89, and then we're going to have 90 to 99. 90 to 99. Okay? Now, in that, we need to say how many are in each. So we have to have the tally, and then we have to have the frequency. So how many are in there? Just one. So that's one frequency. How many are in the other one? There are 5 in this. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we write 5. There are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here in the 80 to 89 range. And then there are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that range. Okay, so now when I go to draw my chart, I'm going to use this information right here to draw this chart. Okay, so I get my ruler out, and I'm going to draw this for you. So this is not very hard. You see the examples literally in the book, so if you get confused, just look at the book's example. That will help you. Okay, so my first interval down here is going to be 60 to 69. Then the next one is going to be 70 to 79. Then 80 to 89. And the last one here is going to be 90 to 99. Do you see that? Now going up, I need the number of students, and since I only need a total of 8, this is our biggest, I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? That's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now I say how many students were in this category right here. There's only one, so I come over and down and color that in. There we go. Now I say how many were in this category? 5. So I go all the way up to 5, over and down, color that in. Now I go to this one, there were 8. So this is the tallest, right? It goes all the way to the top, then down, and I color that in. Then I go to the last one, and it's 6. So I go up to 6 and over and color that in. That's how I draw a histogram, with using the data that they gave me, okay? So I have to take the points, and then first part is to count them, then to turn them into a frequency after I've made my intervals, and then draw that all over here, okay? Now, if you need to rewatch me do that, please feel free to do so. Take it as easy and as slow as you want. That's how our example's going to be. Okay, that's the example for today. So pause it if you need to go back and watch that. Now, what if with that graph, they asked us a question? Okay, so if you remember, let me see if I can pull up that, here, let me pull up this chart. Let me see if I can do this. I've never tried this before. I'm going to try and save this graph. Oop. Save that graph. Hey, there's my graph. Wow, I haven't done this before. This is fun. So, let's see. So, there we go. Now that I have my chart right there, what if they asked me this question? What if they said, how many total students took the test? What if they said, how many students? Okay, the way I would solve that is I would look at my frequency chart, okay, and I say how many were in the 60 to 69? 1, plus how many are in the next one? 5, plus 8 in this one, plus 6 in the last one. I add that up, that's 6, that's 14, so a total of 20. Do you see how we did that? We just counted up how many were in each one. Now, if they ask me, what is the mode? Okay, does anybody remember what that is from the last homework? Hopefully you do. The mode is the one with the most. So which one has the most? Well, that's pretty easy. It's this guy right here. It's the 80 to 89. So the answer is 80 to 89. It's the tallest one. Okay, that's how we find the mode. So now we have found how many people took the test. We found the mode. Then if they ask us about the median, right, we would go back to our chart and we say, okay, what is the median? There are 20 students, so I'm going to clear all this on this right-hand side. So if you need to pause it, go ahead and do so. Okay, there are 20 students total. So I'm going to leave this 20 over here. 20 total. So remember what we do, 20 divided by 2, and that is 10. So we know that it's the 10 and 11th term. The 10 and 11th term. Okay, now let's see, this is 1. So after we've done one interval, we've got 1. After this one, we have a total of 6. Do you see this is 5 here and 1 here? So we have 5 plus 1, which is 6. Now, this next one has how many? We have 8. 8 in that interval. So 8 plus 6 is 14. Now, is 10 and 11, is that in that 14? Check. The answer is yes, that is. So that means that the median is also 80 to 89, because that has our 10th and 11th term are in that range. Okay, that's how we find the median. And then what if they asked us a percentage question about this, okay? So I'm going to clear this again. If you need to pause and go back, go ahead and do so. So what if they asked us a percentage question and said, what percent made better than a 89? Okay, if that's what percent made better than an 89, that means this guy, he made worse than 89. Nope, can't count him. Nope, can't count this one. And definitely can't count this one because he's 89, which means we are left only counting this last little square with a percentage. So how many was that? Well, there were 6 of them. You see that? 6 at that last. So we do 6 divided by. How many were total? You remember our number over here in the circle was 20. So I do that in the calculator. I do 6 divided by 20. To find the percentage, I get 0.3, which is 30% exactly. So how many did better than 89? How many made a 90 or higher? That would be 30%. Okay? If you need to rewatch any of that, feel free to pause the video at any time and do it. So here's our homework for today. We are going to be on page 464. 464. This is 10.7, and this is part 2. And this is our only homework due over Easter break. Should not take you very long. It is 31 through 36 all. Okay, just 6 problems total. Go ahead and do that. Should not take you long. It's just drawing one histogram and answering some questions about it. So if you follow this example through, you will be able to do the exact same thing on yours. So you got to, first step is to make the frequency chart, then to graph, and then to answer questions. Okay. So there you go. That is all that you have. Enjoy your Easter break. I hope that you all have a great time with your family in the midst of this social isolation, and I pray that you would be reminded of the Lord's sacrifice and his resurrection. Mr. H is out.